y'all, it's Sid and I am back for week number 35. Alright y'all, so let's just get into it. I think since last time I have had a doctor's appointment. So I went to my doctor's appointment and I don't think it was anything too crazy. I went in there and she measured my belly. She said that it was measuring, I think like a week behind, which it was before too. And she said that that's kind of common for boys. They tend to like sit lower, which is kind of funny because I feel like my stomach looks like he's sitting higher. But she said that it's more common for boys to sit lower, so that's not that uncommon to see that my belly would be a little bit behind. But it was kind of funny because she went to measure it and she like looked at me and she's like, "You're measuring like a week behind." She's like, "Did he drop?" And she like looked at me and I'm like, I don't know. So that was kind of funny. But yeah, so I went there. She told me that next time I will have an ultrasound. So that'll be really fun and that'll be good because they'll look through. It's been like a long time, obviously. It's been since like 25 weeks since I've had an ultrasound, and so they'll check his kidneys. I know I've mentioned that before. And then they'll check like his amniotic fluid, make sure that there's enough of that, make sure that he's developing right. They'll be able to tell me approximately how much he weighs. So yeah, so that'll be next Wednesday. So for 36 weeks, I'll probably talk about that a little bit. So that'll be fun. Hopefully he's not too big, but honestly, I've had 3 feelings since I got pregnant. One was that it was going to be a boy. One was that he was going to come out 8 pounds or more, and one was that he was going to come out late. So the first one obviously was true, but I don't know about the other 2, so we will see. But yeah, that was pretty much it for my appointment. Everything else looked good. His heart rate had dropped a little bit, and that kind of freaked me out, so I like asked her about it, the nurse. She said that it's actually really common towards the end of your pregnancy that your baby's heart rate would drop from what it normally is. Like, that's a very common thing. It's very normal. It's fine. So that was good. But speaking of ultrasounds, I think I talked about in my video from my baby shower about how I had gotten some money to go do a 3D/4D ultrasound, and I'll go ahead and link that video below in case you are interested in seeing that. But I did get to go do the 3D/4D ultrasound, so I will insert some pictures. I was 34 weeks and 1 day, and they don't really recommend that you come any later than 34 weeks. She said even at 34 weeks, sometimes it's really hard to see their faces, just because they're like big and kind of squished in there. As well as I believe it's either called an anterior or posterior placenta, whichever one. It's positioned in the front of my stomach, and they recommend that you come a little bit earlier if you have that as well, but it just kind of didn't work out for me to go any earlier than what I did. But luckily we were still able to see his little face, which was so exciting. He showed his face for pretty much the whole time, so he was pretty cooperative. But she did get to have, there's like a little black and white picture where she shows kind of his hair. She said that there's not like a ton of hair, but he does have a little bit. And there was one picture where his hands were up by his face like this, and he was just sleeping, and it was super cute. So that was really fun to go and get to see him. Another thing, okay, so we had a friend that told us about this big like consignment sale that they have. I think it's twice a year in my town, and it's like a big like kids consignment sale. So like all of it's like this big warehouse, and all of it is like kids stuff, and you can go on and get some pretty good deals. So we went, and honestly y'all, I spent so much money, but I like got so much for the money that I spent, and also like I've got money saved up for buying things that he needs, so that was like totally fine. But I got tons of stuff. I got a huge bag full of clothes for him. I got like a bumbo seat. I got some bottles, which I didn't have before, and like a sterilizer. And what else did I get? I got some books for him for when he gets a little bit older, which was something that I had wanted to get. One big thing, I needed like socks and mittens and like stuff like that, so I got that. And yeah, so I got like a ton of stuff, and it was so worth it. I went through everything before I actually went through purchase, and I was like, yeah, this is all stuff that I will need for him that I don't have. So that was really fun. Got a lot of newborn and like 0 to 3 month clothing. So that was really cool. Part of me thinks he's going to come out and not even fit into newborn clothing. I really don't know. Again, I think he's going to be kind of big, but you can't like not prepare for it, so we'll see. But that was really fun, and I would have done a haul. I really thought about doing a haul, but it was a lot of stuff, and I just put up my haul from my baby shower, so I was like, I probably just won't. I'll probably just talk about it. But yeah, so I got a lot of stuff for him there, which makes me feel a lot more comfortable because now I feel a lot more prepared for when he comes. So that was really good. And y'all, this honestly is probably the biggest thing, or like most recent thing I've been dealing with, and it's not even his fault, but it's just something I'm going to complain about for just 1 second. I have had a cold. I remember talking about being sick in my last video, which was like 2 weeks ago. It's not even necessarily a cold, like I don't have congestion and I don't have like a sore throat, but I have been coughing, which is funny because at the very beginning of my pregnancy I sneezed all the time and I complained about that. I would way rather sneeze all the time than deal with this coughing. I've been coughing for probably the past week and a half at least, and it's like pretty much only gotten worse. And it's really not that bad, except for the fact that I have had such a hard time sleeping lately. It has been miserable, y'all. The past couple nights have been so bad. I will wake up, I'll fall asleep. It's hard enough to fall asleep anyways, just because I am, you know, getting later in my pregnancy, and it's really difficult to find like a good position where I'm not having acid reflux or I don't feel like I can't breathe. So I'll do that, and then I will fall asleep, and either like half an hour to an hour later I will wake up coughing. Probably about half of the times that I wake up coughing, I wake up throwing up because I'm coughing so hard, which is not pleasant. And last night was a lot better than the nights before that. I only woke up twice, but it has just been so bad, and I always sleep with my fan on. I get really hot at night, and that's another thing. I can't sleep with my fan on because it just makes it 2 times worse with having like the air. And so then I wake up sweating because it's like so hot, and it is just not fun at all. So that is another thing that I've been dealing with that kind of sucks. I think it's getting a little bit better. I have tried like honey and water, or just like straight up eating a spoonful of honey. That has been fairly effective. I have some peppermints. I prefer peppermints over cough drops, which is like, they are safe for me to have. I do have some cough drops. I really hate cough drops, and I feel like sucking on hard candy does a lot of the same thing. It doesn't like numb your throat, but my throat doesn't hurt. It's just like the extra saliva that helps. So I've been sucking on those, but obviously you can't do that when you're going to sleep because then you might, you know, choke on them. And then I do have some cough syrup that I haven't broken down and taken yet. We just got it yesterday, and like I said, last night wasn't as bad. So anyway, we'll see. Hopefully things will go better.
Do you want a Snickers or a Kit Kat bar?
Sure, I'll take a Snickers.
Not a Snickers, a Butterfinger or a Kit Kat?
Oh, I'll take a Kit Kat. But yeah, so I think the only thing that really has to do with my pregnancy is the fact that it's harder to like get over things when you're pregnant, because obviously your body is focused on your baby and protection of that, which is exactly where I want it to be focused. But you just don't have as much to give yourself, and it's a lot harder. Normally if I had a cold like this, I would just take like Dayquil or NyQuil, and that obviously always works, but there are just a lot of things you can't take when you're pregnant. And I'm very weary of taking medicine when I'm pregnant, even the ones that I know are safe. It still kind of freaks me out a little bit. So yeah, I feel like I'm starting to get to the point. Okay, so I've always heard that you know that your baby has dropped when you are able to eat a full meal again, because your baby starts getting so big that they push like your, without being like graphic, I feel like this kind of freaks people out, or at least my friends it does, but they, you know, the baby like pushes like all your organs and stuff up, including your stomach, And so they get so big that your stomach is like kind of squished and you just can't eat as much at a time. You just get full easier. And I feel like I've reached the point where he is big enough that he is doing that to my stomach, because I feel like I eat like half of what I used to and I just get really full. So I feel like that is pretty much it for this week. So I'm going to go ahead and show y'all my belly. Y'all, here is my belly. It's getting bigger and bigger. My stretch marks are starting to get worse and I have a couple more of them. But I don't have that line. A lot of people have that like brown line or whatever, and if I'm gonna get it, I haven't gotten it yet. So that's with the shirt on, and then the shirt up. That is what it's looking like this week. And again, I don't know if you'll be able to see my stretch marks. They're not that bad, but I have one right here, a couple underneath here, and then one on this side as well. So they are starting to come, but I'm not super worried about it. Hey y'all, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to tune in for week 36 if I can get my crap together to do week 36, because clearly I struggle. I mean, to be fair, I've been sick, and I've also had these like computer problems, but anyways, I really need to get more consistent with the weekly videos because there's only a couple left, and I really want to have them to look back on and have like all of them. But yeah, y'all, so thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.